People in life are looking for how do I make a life worth living and retirement worth having. When I'm seated on the sidewalk or lying down to take a nap, I don't need someone's hands put on me or in my pockets or in my lap or in my pants or in my bags. Let's believe that we still live in America where we have some dignity of space. We have some privacy of place. And we might just get along better that way. But that is not the truth. What we have is black youth who like to lie about their rights. When I was on campus, there was an 11-year-old boy who kept trying to get accolades from the college students by riding up and down the street on any different color of cycle or bicycle that he could steal from the campus. I don't know how a child gets a different colored bicycle every day of the week. It just doesn't make sense to me. But what we're talking about is how people become tainted. That's just an example of tainted. Tainting was that young boy thought that he could take one of those bicycles and ride it at me walking as an elderly person and an unstable individual at the time, down what they would call their walking trail. It's a marvelous kind of space between two different streets. It's a butting up behind backs of different alleyways and different apartment spaces and different, business spaces. But the truth is that the lie that people tell themselves is that I'm in control of you. I'm in control of how you live your life. I'm in control of who you choose for a wife. I'm in control of everything that you do, and I'm just going to keep molesting you. Molesting you in the night, molesting you in the day, cutting your beard off, shaving your body hair off, and openly I'm just going to keep raping you and ravaging you until you decide to play the way that I think God made the world today. The problem with this attitude is that police officers do these things. They literally hold people in jail cells, they push them and manipulate them into single cells, and they literally violate all the laws of our land, and nobody stops to tell them, no, you may not do that. When I'm talking about tainting, though, religious pastors want me to explain how does a pagan see tainters. Tainters are that satanic force in the human world who tells someone a negative aspect of something positive that someone is trying to do for them. In other words, I might send a gift to someone that I send to all my clients. But because I recognize that there's a single mom with a couple kids, and I realize the mentality and emotional state of those children is they might fight over that toy, and it'd be a real headache for that mom, I might send one for each of them. At the same time, I'm sending them to other clients because at that time, doing 3D mail was a very important part of marketing. It's something that the Kennedy Glacier folks always talk about. I have a full series of those books, but are they still there, or did someone taint themselves in believing that they had the right to go into my storage locker and steal things out of my storage locker at night, or edit or censor what things I had that they didn't feel were just right for my life? When I'm talking about professionals, I'm always amazed at the demographics of people that I've been able to assess, observe, and track of who helps and who doesn't. I've made a marketing study of the type of homes that help versus those that don't. I've made a marketing study of the types of cars and vehicles that help people and those who mainly don't. There are occasionally an exception to the rule, but it's usually because someone who is a fool called them up and say, hey, you're in my stead. We've known each other a long time. Do me this favor so I don't feel so much dread. But the tainting of people is not innocent. It is an intentional interference with the God's voice that speaks to a person's soul that says, hey, that person's in struggle today. Why don't you give them a little help? So that individual is thinking about what can I do for that person, but instead of talking to God, instead of pausing and praying, instead of pausing to meditate, to listen to Jesus, instead of literally doing the pagan thing, which is using a pendulum to check what should I do, how much should I give, what should I buy, etc., how should I talk, they actually talk to another human being. And that human being is so jealous in their soul, so manipulative in what they do, so poor in what they feel, that they negate everything that person is inspired to do from the Lord.